It's one of those buy nice or buy twice things with like most cookware. Like I was thinking about like if it's pots and pans, I get cast iron for everything because stainless steel is too expensive. Copper is a gimmick, and non-stick is not only going to make your children's penis small, look it up, but they scratch up and get ruined.
That's a trap. I'm not fact checking it.
Kyle's right. Cast iron is the way to go.
It is, yeah.
More because of the
if you ever need to
flavor.
defend yourself in a home invasion scenario, and the government has taken away every one of your weapons, a cast iron pan may be what it comes down to.
Have you ever like I have a cast iron pan, obviously, just like a boilerplate regular one. And I've thought before, like when I'm picking it up to use it or something, I'll like kind of flip it up this way and just kind of feel it a little bit for the weight, imagining I'm like a disgruntled, Looney Tunes mom about to hit her husband. And it's like, that is an unwieldy thing. That would be really hard to swing and hit somebody.
Whenever I look at weapons and I judge them for their effectiveness, I think, what would happen if I was holding one side and like maybe one of you guys was holding the other side? If I have a baseball bat, I think I have a slight advantage because I've got the holdy part with the knob on the end.
For sure.
But it's kind of close. If it's a cast iron pan, I feel like the enemy has the advantage. He's got the round part and you've got the handle. Educate me. It sounds like you got a thing.
Well, I've got these gloves that protect me up to 1,100 degrees Fahrenheit. So what I do
You're
is I heat that pan up. It's scorching hot.
Hold on, Home Invader. I got a plan.
All right, it's
You're not going to like it.
And then I grab that fucker and I give him a little weak swing. I dare him to grab it. Now he's all burnt up.
It's just red hot. Give me 20 minutes. In there with an acetylene torch on the top, trying to hurry it up.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of like golf club as an example. I feel like if I had the handle part of the golf club and Taylor had the business end of the golf club, I think he'd disarm me. Right?
That was a little different. Yeah,
I feel like if you stepped in close and like blocked a golf club the way they block stuff in movies, one of these, it'll break right across your arm. If they hit you with the head of the club, it's going to break your fucking arm. But if you were able to step in close maybe and block it, like I said, like the movie guys do, I think it'll break right on your arm.
Oh, that might even be worse. He comes in, you throw up might fold and break on your arm, and the business end still smacks you right in the noggin.
Still hit you, but the energy would be dissipated. That's why I put that whole who can win it is why I put a bayonet on all of my guns, even the pistols.
I keep bayonets in every room of the house.
Nunchucks.
My girlfriend thinks that weird and strange. We'll see who's laughing. When the Gauls show up, and I have to batter them back.
Did we talk about Anthony Smith's home invasion?
No, we never did.
Oh my!
That guy was like a D1 wrestler, right? That invaded his home.
Yes, yeah, University of Nebraska. He wasn't a current D1 wrestler, but I imagine him in his 20s, right? Like he's just.
I mean, if you were, you still are, as far as I'm concerned. None of us were.
It's like riding a bike. He still knows how to fuck you up.
Dude, I rolled with the D1 wrestlers because there's a couple D1 colleges where I trained Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's like, oh yeah, you're something different, aren't you? Yeah, every roll starts with them putting me on my back. Like I know what's coming, you know what's coming, and I'm thankful he's not gay because there's not a goddamn thing I could do about it.
So this guy home invaded fucking Anthony Smith, who's a legit martial artist in the UFC, high-ranked guy. And,
did pretty well against John Jones in his 205-pound title fight. He lost, but I think he went the distance, and so this guy is one of the top 5 baddest guys on earth ish, something like that, top 10, and the home invader really gave him a go, and he tells the story super well, not Cerrone scuba diving well, but really well, and he gave that guy a lot of credit for being tough. He was having a hard time holding him down. At one point, his wife got him a knife. This is the fighter. And, I guess my takeaway was, you don't want a knife unless you intend to use the knife. Otherwise, now you're a one-handed guy. Because once he was subduing him, he was holding him down, he was giving him the business, hitting him, etc., but struggling with the guy. And his wife gets him a knife, and now he's having a much harder time holding him down because he has a hand that's effectively out of the fight. He at one point, his wife went to help, right? And he's like, my wife has a lot of good qualities, but let's leave the fighting to me. Right?
I hope this doesn't mean something that we're not aware of.
Right? Yeah.
Knowing our luck, they're going to be like, oh, and they're showing the national symbol of pedophiles or something.
Yeah. It's the Proud Boy salute.
Was fuckers even a thing?
At one point in the fight, he's hitting him, he's fighting him, and his wife goes and he holds the attacker's legs together. And he's like, don't you fucking kick my wife. And the home invader goes, okay. Right? And he just accepted those terms. And he's like, and he didn't. He honored his word, for all that guy's flaws. He didn't kick my wife, but he continued to upper body fight with our hero the whole time. He's punching and wrestling and trying to squirm free, but his feet were not in the fight anymore. He just agreed.
Well, that's an honorable way to.
He's a gentleman.
To go to jail.
They had beers. They train together now.
And the guy made a good.
He's in prison.
No, yeah, I'm sure he's in prison.
He made a good decision though too. Like, I feel like the way that Anthony Smith described his wife, I think his mother-in-law lived with them and helped out with the family and stuff, and he had kids there. My takeaway was that Anthony Smith was willing to get into a fight, but if you had touched his wife, kids, or his mother-in-law, who he feels very highly about, that he would have gone berserker mode and he would have really punished the guy.
Or he might have just stabbed the guy.
Could have. Yeah. No, the guy made a smart call not to kick his wife.
Yeah, I'd hate to get fucking stabbed. I would take a beating every day of the week over a stabbing.
Have you? I'm sure you have. We've all seen a guy like knife fight victims.
Yeah.
Dude, everybody loses a knife fight. Even if you win a knife fight, you have lost it. They gut you, or maybe you block it with your forearm a couple of times. Whew. Yeah.
It ain't like in the movies. Your fucking flesh lays over.
Terrible.
You've got a scar.
So bad.
If you survive. You could easily bleed out. That's the other thing. Like in the movies, it's like, Mel Gibson's fine. In real life, like you get a nick and you just fucking bleed out right there.
You lose if you win a fight and have anything more than like some bruising, it feels like you lost two, right? Bruising we could all deal with. We all know that kind of comes back just like it was before. But if you've got big knife wounds and stuff like that, everybody lost.
Yeah. What was that like clip you like? Maybe some instructional or safety video where it's some like expert at disarming someone, and he gives someone who's not trained with a knife a Sharpie, and the guy's wearing like white pants and a white shirt. Not the Sharpie guy, the other guy.
Thinking of the Wings of Redemption Kelly knife Sharpie demonstration, mostly.
Yeah, that was Wings of Redemption, professional self-defense trainer.
Did he do that?
He really did
that. They had a fight in their yard, him and another fella who was kind of heavy set, both wearing white tees and both holding Sharpies.
Oh my God! How did I not know this?
It's pretty glorious.
I know there's a real video of like a knife instructor, self-defense guy who's like, no matter what fucking happens, you're gonna get nicked. I know exactly what I'm doing. This guy doesn't know shit. Look, I got lines all over me because all he has to do is just like you're gonna get fucked.
Yeah, right. You don't want to have a knife fight with any fucking body.
People overestimate their own abilities. And you can almost prove that by putting yourself on both sides. Could I disarm a guy with a knife? Hell yeah, I'd take my shirt off and wrap it into some sort of knife catching device and grab the knife with the hand. No, you wouldn't. And then on the other side, like, if I attacked you, could you at least draw a line on me with the Sharpie? Oh, of course I could. Yeah, you don't get to be on both sides of that.
Well, it's like that same instructor, I think, was like, here's the correct way to deal with a knife attack. And he's like in crouching tiger, hidden dragon stance. And then as soon as they start, he just turns around and bolts. It's like, if somebody takes out a knife, run. Fucking run.
Yeah, you don't want to fight a knife.
I wouldn't make it away. I'm not fast enough. Hopefully I have a fatter assailant.
Throws the knife.
We're not built for speed.
There's a Wusthof sticking out of my upper back. I'm just dying in the middle of a St. Louis road. People are still walking by.
Guys like, who's the Saturday Night Live funny guy was a cheerleader in Elf?
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell in Elf, yeah. That'd be the worst guy to get into a knife fight with.
Oh, yeah, because he's fast?
Because he throws snowballs. You didn't see that scene? That scene is amazing. One kid gets away, fires off like a paintball gun, and then one guy gets away. Dude, that scene brings tears to my eyes. The kid is like getting bullied, and he's like, oh no, there's 9 of them. And Will Ferrell is like, I think we could take him.
He's throwing snowballs in ropes.
Yes.
There's one behind the other. He's throwing them so fucking fast. Yeah, that's a great scene.